ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Techopia Live. I am your host, Craig Lord, the editor here at Techopia. This week, if you can't tell, we are at SaaS North, the annual gathering of SaaS companies in Ottawa, around Canada, across North America, and the world. The best in SaaS are arriving in Ottawa to the Shaw Centre this week. We are set up right across from the escalator, so as you can see, all the hottest stars in Ottawa tech and SaaS coming up these escalators. There's a new one every 30 seconds. It's a fantastic environment, and I think we've got one of the rising stars here for one of our first interviews on Techopia Live. Long-time watchers of the show, though, will recognize Mike Potter, the CEO of Rewind. This is a company that is helping to make e-commerce, helping to ensure basically the e-commerce sites of people that are using platforms like Shopify. If something goes wrong, Rewind is your accessible cloud backup. That's kind of the offering that Rewind is bringing. But since we've had you on last, this company is exploding. You've recently raised more than $1 million in financing, seeing 100% year-over-year revenue growth, and you're up to about 20 employees. Can you tell me, Mike, what is fueling the growth at Rewind right now?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Greg. So, there's lots of stuff that we've got going on, right? We've expanded from Shopify onto a number of different platforms. So we're backing up QuickBooks Online and BigCommerce stores as well. We're going to launch support for MailChimp early in the new year. And so our vision has really expanded from, an e-commerce focus to really any SMB platform. So, think of all the tools and SaaS tools that you're using to run your business online, right? MailChimp, WordPress, Zendesk, Shopify, BigCommerce, QuickBooks, Xero, all of those platforms all suffer from the same problem. And so our vision of, where we started a couple of years ago of just backing up Shopify stores has really grown. And so that expansion out to BigCommerce, that expansion out to QuickBooks Online has allowed us to diversify our revenue. And, we're looking here at all the people at SaaS North, but I'm looking across the street over at the Shopify building, and they've obviously been key to our growth as well. Right? That's been such a rocket ship for us to be alongside that company, right? I think in the time that we've been on them, they've more than tripled the number of stores that they're backing up. And those stores are installing our Rewind app and protecting themselves from any disasters that are going to happen. So they've been fantastic partners, and we really, have enjoyed working with them.
Can you talk a little bit about being part of the Shopify app ecosystem? For those that maybe don't have a Shopify store, there's more than 600,000 of you out there, I know. But for those of us non-merchants in the crowd, what's it like being a part of that app ecosystem? That you can download anything to augment your store. How do you stand out on that platform and really make sure that people are seeing the value in putting Rewind onto their store?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, where we've always focused on just providing great customer service. So, our philosophy has always been build a great product and provide great customer service, and the revenue will take care of itself. And so that's been our focus from day one, right? When customers are contacting us, they typically are having a major data disaster. Nobody's calling us and saying, hey, your product's working great, I don't need it right now, right? It's, hey, I've just lost all my products in my store, this app integration's gone wrong or whatever, can you help me out? And so we've really focused on making sure that when they need us, we're going to help them out. We're going to drop whatever it is we're doing. We're going to get their store back up and running as quickly as possible. And that focus on customer service and providing a great product then results in a number of 5-star reviews in the App Store. So we get a lot of 5-star reviews from happy customers. And those reviews in turn drive additional installs, and it's sort of a nice little circle that you get, right? So we were lucky enough that we were the first one to come up with the idea. And we've got over, I think it's about 15 times as many reviews for our app as the next closest backup person that's now following us. So, it's a very competitive space on the App Store. They've got thousands of apps on their App Store. Differentiating yourself is extremely difficult. But I think when it comes down to it, really, if you build a good quality product, you price it reasonably, and you provide amazing customer service, people will find out about that. Your reputation will get known, and you sort of grow your business from there.
And going back to the point you made earlier about how you're diversifying the number of platforms that you're working with, how tightly tied is your success to Shopify's success? If something bad happens to Shopify in the next 5 years, where does that leave Rewind?
Yeah, so I mean that's a good question, right? And that's one of the things, one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing, which is so if something bad were to happen to Shopify, like from a financial perspective, I suppose, from a data perspective, we'd actually be pretty well off if something happened. But from a financial perspective, if something were to happen to Shopify, our revenue is closely linked to their success, right? And it's closely linked to the success of the merchants themselves. And so I think that's a risk that we identified about a year ago. And we said we'd really need to reduce that risk from a business perspective. So how do we do that? And diversifying across all these different platforms was the goal. And we're starting to get there. You know, I'd say a year ago, 100% of our revenue, 95% of our revenue would have been from Shopify. That's down to 75 to 80% now. And we're hoping that it goes lower, right? We're hoping that we can grow other platforms as large or larger than what we've grown our Shopify business. So, you know, the total pie is going up, but the relative percentage of how much we're dependent on them continues to go down. That's the reason why we've taken the investment and what our strategy is for next year in terms of product development.
It's awesome, Mike. And really quickly, before I let you go, obviously we're here at SaaS North, the big annual SaaS conference here in Ottawa. What's the value for Rewind being at SaaS North?
Yeah, so I mean, there's lots of value for us, you know, coming to a conference like this. We've got some of our employees here who are attending the sessions. You know, some fantastic learning sessions that are going on. We were talking earlier about one of the pricing sessions that I was in, and understanding how other SaaS companies are pricing, what their valuations are, how they're being valued in the market. So some fantastic content here, some fantastic networking opportunities with investors, with bankers. Potential investors for a round that we might be looking at doing sometime next year, and other companies too, right? So one of the things we're looking to do is open an API where other SaaS companies can integrate with us and we become their backup solution for them. I had a couple of people reach out to me before the week started and wanted to meet here at the conference talking about that potential opportunity for next year. So like, yeah, it's a fantastic conference, really well done. You know, one of the best conferences I think I've ever been to. And the location is fantastic. We haven't had to travel anywhere to get all that benefit. So it's been really great.
Just a quick ride on OC Transpo, and you're right here at SaaS North. So thank you so much, Mike, CEO of Rewind, for joining us today. Fantastic to catch up on what you guys are doing in Ottawa and in the SaaS space, obviously. But apart from that, I just want to thank you for joining us for our first interview here at SaaS North. We'll see you again soon.